Hello my beautiful people, you're welcome back to the channel. Credible Fetty here. In today's video we're going to be making a scanty bang. I'm going to be turning this wig with a regular closure into a scanty bang. And guys, if you're just joining me for the first time, please subscribe to the channel, click on the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I post a video. So guys, let's just dive into the video for today. So I went ahead to wear the wig on the mannequin head. Guys, you have to ignore my mannequin, my blank looking mannequin with a little bit of self-made eyebrow. So you just want to ignore it. So you notice that the hair is a regular closure hair. So what I'm going to do right now is to section out the part of the hair that I want to turn into a bang. So I'll section it out and hold it apart. And before you section, you should know the part at which you want the fringe to cover. If you want it to be just right on your forehead, you want to know the measurement. And if you want it to be a little bit extended towards your sides, you should also know the measurement before you start cutting. I'm going to be making mine 1 inch, just 1 inch away from the mid part of the closure, 1 inch at one side, 1 inch at the other side, because I want it to stay right on my forehead. I don't want it to be extended towards the edge, because that's exactly what the client wants. She wants it to just be on her forehead, just at the front of her forehead, and scanty. So that's what I am going to do. So 1 inch away from the parts, from the midpoint of the part, 1 inch away from the left side and 1 inch away from the right side. You just cut it out like that and hold it apart. You can use a clip to just clip it apart so that it won't get mixed up with the whole bunch at the back. And you also want to make sure that the part at which you are making is very clean. It's a clean part, it's a clean cut part. You can use any lace frontal. You can choose to use even the padded frontal, which I don't really like, I don't really advise, but if that's what you have, you can work with it. The padded frontal that has this plastic kind of appearance, you can choose to use it too. Or may I prefer the regular lace frontal because it tends to last better. So you make sure your part is very clean and clear. So once that have been done and you've held the hair apart, the part you're going to cut into a bangs apart, the next thing that needs to be done is to make that part at which you've cut out, the part you cut out, to make it permanent. I'm not going to be using the flat iron, but I don't know, for some reason the flat iron decided to switch up on me. It decided to stop working for some reason best known to it. So I'm going to be using a regular pressing iron and a hair holding spray to achieve this, because my hot comb decided to perform some kind of weird witchcraft voodoo something on me. I don't know. I doubt if it's spoiled. I don't think it's spoiled. I just think it's been a little bit problematic. So I'll be using a pressing iron and a hair holding spray to achieve this. If you don't have the regular hair holding spray, you can use the got to be spray. You can also use this regular spray. I will leave a picture for you to see the spritz or something. I'll leave a picture for you to see. You can use that spray. So what I'll go ahead to do, I'll make sure the iron is not very hot, just a little hot enough to get the job done. You wouldn't want the iron to be very hot. You wouldn't want to melt your hair, because mind you, the way it is regulated, it's not for hair, it's basically for fabric, and we're using it on hair, so you want to be very careful. So as you're using the hot iron, you'd want to be brushing it forward, like where you want it to be, when you want the bangs to be. You'll be brushing the hair forward and pressing it with the hot iron, as you see me doing the video. You press it and you iron. As you iron, you press. You do the same if you're using the regular hot comb. You comb it forward, then you apply a little spray to that part, not the main hair. You don't apply the spray to the main hair. You apply the spray to the part at which you are combing, just as you see me do. You comb the hair forward and you spray that point, not the whole hair. That point, you comb it forward and you spray, just a little spray. You don't need to drench the hair, because if you put a lot of hair holding spray on the hair, it tends to give it this stiff look, this stiff and splitted look, which is not really nice. So after that, after you finish combing it forward and you're sure that it is well placed and even the center pattern, the initial center pattern is now closed up and no more obvious, then you know you're ready to move on to the next phase, which is the phase at which you cut the bangs. So what I'm going to be using to achieve this is the scissors. I'll use the scissors and a comb. Just the scissors and the comb is what you need. So you comb the hair forward. You make sure the hair is flat, like flat enough for you to hold, not having bumps or layered on themselves. You make sure the bangs is flat and individual, like they are all layered individually. Then you use the comb to like hold it in place. Then you just trim. You make sure the comb is holding the hair in place, because you don't want to be cutting the strand of hair that you just cut. It will give it that uneven look. You putting the comb underneath before cutting would help you to get the hair in place. Then you trim, as easy as that. Some people like to use the scissors method, at which you cross the hair. You take the hair at the right, you turn it to the left, then you take the other one and turn it to the right, then you cut. But I just prefer this method. I feel you use the method that works best for you. This regular method works best for me. And guys, one very important thing I forgot to mention, you should know the length of bangs, the length of the bangs you want to achieve, because I've been doing this for a while now, so I know where the bang is supposed to stop on my mannequin head. So that's why I didn't bother to measure it. Normally it's supposed to be 5 inches from the tip of the head, from the tip of your forehead to the actual length you want to achieve, not from the roots, from that tip at which your forehead, the beginning of your forehead, to the where you want to achieve the length you want to achieve. I made mine 6. I made it 6. Then I further cut it into 5. After bobbing it a little, I made it 5 inches. So guys, always measure it. I think there's a standard measurement, which is 5 inches from the beginning of your forehead to where you want it to be, where you want the length to get to. It's supposed to be 5 inches, or sometimes 4.5, depending on how wide the person's forehead is, or how small the person's face is, or how big the person's face is. So it's usually 5 inches or 4 inches or 4.5 inches. And after doing all this, after you finish cutting out the bangs and you're not satisfied with the bangs, you feel it's too full or you feel it's still too thick, you can go ahead to use a tweezer to pluck out some hair from the closure to make that place scanty. So until you get that scanty vibe that you want, you can just stop. And if you feel like it is looking too thin, you can find a way to ventilate more hair onto the net. So guys, now that I've achieved the right length of bangs that I want, I'll go ahead to brush out the hair. I'll brush it out, then flatten it with a flat iron. I just brush it out, flatten with a flat iron, then try to bob the bangs a bit, like bob it a bit, because it's looking so flat. So I'll just go in with the flat iron and flatten it. After flattening it, I'll bob the bangs, and that is basically it. As simple as that, as simple and easy as that. So after flattening this hair out, I'm going to go ahead to wear it and show you guys how it looks on me. I am going to be taking a couple of pictures and admiring this beautiful hair and how beautiful it turned out before sending it to the client. So guys, here is the finished look. I mean, this wig is so giving. The scantiness is so very delicious. And I'm not really a fringe person. I'm not the type of person that fringe really look good on. But then this fringe is perfect on me. I'm sure you notice me dancing and feeling myself in the background. That is me being impressed with the hair. The hair gives this beautiful, powerful, authoritative Egyptian queen, Cleopatra kind of vibe. I mean, look at how beautiful it is. Just so beautiful, chic, classy, gorgeous, fabulous, you name it. Very, very crunchy and spicy, delicious. I can go on and on. So guys, that'll be all for today. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Share this video. See you in my next one. Bye.